The ego is a guide, not an enemy, not a weapon. I know a lot of times when people talk about lose the ego, drop the ego, it sounds like you're trying to get rid of the ego completely. I use the word distortion. There's always going to be a duality. So there's healthy ego and there's distorted ego. When you build your whole world on distorted ego, which is faking who you are, masking what you do, pretending you like something you don't, talking in a way you really don't, acting like you believe in things and causes that you really don't care about. That's distorted ego. And then you're basing your whole lifestyle on that, which looks like I want this car because they have this car. I want these clothes because they have these clothes. I want to fit in because I don't want to feel like a loser. That's all distorted ego. So when you build your whole identity on distorted ego, when it falls apart or people make fun of you or it doesn't go the way you like, that's why it hurts. That's why it feels weird when people say, well, I'm trying to fit in, but it's not working because it's not you. So don't try to fit in, fit in. Healthy ego is finding a way to fit in, which is here's what I like. I like nature. I like walking. I like talking about food and health. So it's best for me to build my ego based on that, right? So I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to invest in foods that I like. I'm going to invest in activities that I like. These are healthy ego things. So then when people say, oh, you think you're cute? Yeah, because I take care of myself. Versus, oh, you think you're cute and I'm pretending to be somebody else and I don't feel cute. And then I start feeling like imposter syndrome. And that's when you're like, yeah, maybe I'm not as cute as I think I am. Because you built your whole ego on a false identity, right? If you build yourself up to be something you're not because you're mimicking it, that's distortion. If you're building yourself based on something that you believe gives you more confidence and you see how to exemplify that confidence in a way that presents you to the world the way you want to present yourself, then that's healthy ego. Okay? So you're still going to have people look at both and think, oh, they think they're better than. That's okay. As long as you know that you're doing it based on taking care of you and not doing it based on trying to appease others, right? This is why it's important to build a world that is based on your healthy ego, because your healthy ego is then going to make healthier choices for your avatar. Will they always be the right choices? No, but they'll be healthier choices versus the latter of unhealthy, distorted ego who's making choices for you in an unhealthy way because it's so insecure and it's so sad and it's so depressed that now it's making choices purely based out of distorted ego. Like, well, if no one cares about me, then I'm just going to hurt myself, or I'm just going to overindulge and drink to the point that I pass out and leave my body exposed and leave me unsafe places and leave my mind open to other things, right? That's distortion ego. Healthy ego is, okay, it's not working my way. That's okay. What's a way that's going to work for me that's going to help me be happy still with this outcome? And if it doesn't work, I have to still be okay knowing how to walk away. If I can figure it out and figure it out in a way that's not going to hurt myself or hurt others, that's healthy ego, right? It's nothing wrong with going after something you want, but if you're going to use your ego to do it, make sure you're doing it from a place of confidence and not dominance, right? A lot of people confuse confidence and dominance. They're not the same thing. Just because I come off boisterous and I can talk loud doesn't mean that I have confidence. It just means I learn how to be loud, and that means I'm going to get my way because that's how conditioning works and imprinting work. If I mimic this behavior, I'm going to get the same results. And for most people, they do, which is why it works for them, which is why you see so much rhetoric now and back and forth in discourse between people. Because there's people who actually know what they're saying and they're saying it with their chest, and then there's people who don't know what they're saying, but they're still saying it with their chest, right? So that's where the distortion comes in and discernment I talk about. So it's okay again to have a healthy ego. Know you look good. Know you take care of yourself. Know you love yourself. Know you're intelligent. Ain't nothing wrong with saying those things either. And if someone says, well, you don't have to say it, okay, well, that's your insecurity. You don't have to back down because somebody else sees you brighter than what they can handle. That's them. But the distortion comes in when you have your ego and you're walking around like, I'm smarter than you. I'm better than you. Oh, yeah, well, that's because you don't look as good as me. That's condescending. And that's where it becomes a distorted ego. So you have to understand when people are speaking to you and talking to you about ego, it's understanding which part of your ego you're feeding. That's that old adage. Are you feeding the wolf that's going to give you life, or are you feeding the wolf that's going to destroy everything? I don't know the story, but you get what I'm saying, right? So again, it's paying attention to how you build your ego. Are you building your ego with solid foundation that has substance and it has meaning to you? Or are you building your ego with somebody else's energy? And then when you turn around and you realize this is not my vision because it's not your energy, right? Don't use your confidence and ego to build somebody else's distorted view of you. Use your confidence and ego to build a healthy version of you. So when you look in the mirror, you're happy with you. So no matter what anyone says or do, you will still be happy with that reflection of you, inside and out, right? So again, ego is not negative. It's not a bad thing, but you have to learn how to figure out which part of your ego you're feeding and which part of your ego you're giving life to. That's why I say if you know that you're walking a divine path, which is I have no ill intent against no one. I try my best to not judge people, but observations happen and that's just how life works. I'm still going to go on and live my life and do what I got to do and just make sure I avoid situations like that, right? That's how you make sure you stay on the divine path. You can't stop life from happening, but you can choose how you react or respond. If you go on a distorted path, well, everything that happens is it's their fault. The world is hurting me. Everybody's hurting me. Reaction, reaction, reaction. Then your response becomes, well, if everyone's hurting me, let me go hurt other people. React, react, react. That's not how it should go, right? So if you have a healthy ego, you'll understand when you're starting to fall into that distortion path, then you can divert your way back to the path that you want to be on. Again, ego is good. Just don't lose yourself becoming somebody else's confidence through the process of fighting that good, okay? Hope that makes sense. Love you.